Hello and welcome back. And so today I wanted to dive into how you can scale your door-to-door home service business. So I have my notes here. I'm going to be reading off on the side. And the first step is to narrow your niche. And so a lot of times I have found that people think that because they're talking to a smaller pool of people or a smaller audience that you are going to miss out on sales. That is completely not all the way true, because when you niche down or you niche down, however you want to pronounce it, you're not shrinking your pool, you are just becoming very detailed. So understanding the market you're in, the type of houses you want to work on, or if you're going to work on apartments, or if you're going to target luxury high rises. You have to know what your niche is, what your niche is. You have to know exactly who the people you're looking to connect with, to do business with you, where they are, what they do, what are the common problems in terms of what you provide in your service, how to get in front of them, and how to maintain their attention in order to drive that engagement for them to think of you when they have the problem that you solve. So that's the first step. Second would be to create content that aligns with their existing interests. So this is where you will be able to do other things outside of just like always being in sales mode. And I know from from a marketing and like from a business perspective, it can always feel like a little like icky, because you're like, gosh, like I don't want to feel like I'm always like plugging my stuff or like a shameless, promotion. That's normal, because we've all kind of heard it through Grant Cardone. If you're a follower of his, if you watch his content, no one likes to be sold, although people love to buy. Like nobody really wants to like have something like constantly pushed in their face all the time. However, they are very open to someone that can present something to them in a beneficial way that can help them solve a problem, contingent upon how severe the problem is or how big the problem is. They're open to learn, to understand, oh, maybe this is something that I should look into. Maybe this is something that we need. Different levels of conversation drive those profitable engagements, as I call them. So that's a big thing there in terms of broadening your content, broadening your reach, broadening you being able to have more conversations essentially, but not always being like, buy my stuff, hire me, click here, buy now. Like people typically don't want to do that. That can be very jarring. So it's better to start the conversations off that align, like I said before, with what they're already interested in. So a big thing I would suggest here as a pro tip would be to volunteer. Get out into the communities that your existing clients reside in, wherever that is, even if you don't live in the community, but you know that that's where where the people have the money to afford your service. Go over there and volunteer. You can sponsor sports events, you can sponsor special group events, golf tournaments are huge. Anything to do with like community building, anything to do with children's education, anything to do with like animal pet rescue, animal health care, children's health care, the caring of women and children, support for men in the community in terms of showing appreciation for like the other working professionals, be it firefighters or police officers. Just getting visible out in a way that feels good for you. It's great because you're getting visibility in front of your ideal audience, and then you're able to have those natural free-flowing conversations that don't always lead to you being like sell, buy. The third tip would be to run tiny ads. So this is when you're looking to kind of accelerate after you've done the first two already. So after you have narrowed exactly who you want to talk to, put yourself in position to get around those individuals that have natural, free-flowing, organic conversations. And third being having tiny ads. So if you go into the Facebook ad manager or the YouTube ad manager, and I'll have a training coming up to kind of show you some behind the scenes of how you set that up. Go in and target the zip codes that your ideal clients live in, and just put, a couple dollars, a small ad budget, and just be more direct in that ad. Now, Ads are a little bit different because there's different ways you want to set this up. This is more of an awareness thing. It's not really, it's direct, but it's direct awareness. It's not more so like, hey, come out and have a cocktail, which you could do. You could put together like a fundraising event, or you could do like a community building event like that. That's not even a bad idea to do. However, in your ad, you want it to be engaging at the same time. You're not pressuring people, but you do want to open the conversation that you are open for business. So having a really good offer, like an introductory offer, like a complimentary consultation, primarily over the phone, because you probably don't want to be driving around to houses all day to clients that are not looking to hire you right now. So I wouldn't recommend that. However, just get in motion of having conversations and get your information in front of them, and that way they're open to it. It's not as jarring as like a cold call or like a cold door to door, where you're kind of catching people off guard and they're like in the middle of something, so they're already kind of like opening the door with like a little bit of irritation. We just had that happen the other day. Actually, a gentleman came to the door to sell us something, and I was in the middle of cooking, and it just was a lot going on, and it was just like, oh gosh, there's this guy at the door who wants to talk to me, wants to sell me something, and it just wasn't gonna go, because it was just like, you're disrupting what I have going on in my day that's a priority to me. Talk to me about your thing, and then you want me to go get my credit card to go buy something, and it just doesn't work. So I'm not saying that obviously people can't be successful as that. However, I would not recommend that strategy. I would prefer it be more of an open invitation, and that way it's less resistance for the client to actually want to do business with you. So running a tiny ad that is open for the engagement, but direct in terms of exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can solve a big problem for them, but make it very easy for them to take that next step in terms of just clicking over here to schedule a complimentary call. Nothing super crazy, no pressure. We're not going to talk your ear off. It's going to be a 10 to 15 minute chat. Talk to us about what you have going on in terms of whatever the service that you provide, and then see if it's a good fit. And just be transparent, like up front. And at the end, at the beginning of this, we'll just talk about kind of what you got going on in the home, or whatever the problem is. Say you service mold inspection, and they're unsure, like, if they have a problem or the severity of it, or like what the next steps are, how do they get rid of it. And it's like, all right, well, let's just have a 15-minute, phone conversation. And at the end of it, if it makes sense, I will give you an offer. And if you'd like to go move ahead, we can do that. That way it's no pressure. And then if they don't do it, you can say like, well, if you don't mind, I'll keep your information on file. I'll send you a couple emails, maybe once or twice a month, just to kind of let you know what we have going on, and just share a little bit more about who we are and what we do in our process. And that's just a win-win. You're building your list, you're getting awareness, you're having conversations, ideally having a conversation a minimum every single day with a new person. Whether they book or not, you're still getting their information, you're still having that one-to-one contact, and then you're still being able to build up that rapport in the community. And people talk. People are going to start sharing the word. They're not going to just keep you a secret, especially if someone else is having a similar problem. You being on their mind, or top of mind, as they say, you'll be first in line to be able to be considered for taking on that work. So those are my 3 tips to help you scale and grow your door-to-door home service business. If you are looking to learn more about ways that we can help you with our proven strategies, go ahead and click the link below, and it'll take you straight away over to learn more about what we can do to help you get there. And in the interim, I will see you in the next one.